Well, by 1969, Don Yenko had already done many 427 conversions in his Camaro, but he realized that if he was going to be the true supercar dealer, that he had to get GM involved. And what he did is he went through COPO, Central Office Production Order, and he was able to convince GM that they needed to build the L72 Camaro, a 427, 450 horse car. What he then did is ordered a bunch of these cars and added his graphics. Every Yenko came with a rear spoiler to complement the side striping. Every Yenko came with the hood striping. Every Yenko came with the headrest with the decal applied to them. But really, the Yenko Camaro was not about graphics, it was about performance. So let's look under the hood. It's really about the 427, 450 horsepower Chevrolet motor. These things came with 4-bolt mains, they came with a great flowing head, aluminum intake, the cars all came with smog, which is something that most people ripped off, and Yenko had a bunch of options that you could also order. Doug Thorley headers, you could get the Stewart Warner gauge package, you could get the aluminum wheels to really dress up the car, and you can get suspension packages. Most of these cars came with the F41 suspension. Now these cars are a whole bunch of fun to look at, but I bet you they're more fun to drive, so let's jump in and go. First thing that comes through is the tightness of this car. Whenever this car was restored, somebody spent a lot of time making sure it really worked nicely. Other than that, the car drives like a regular Camaro big block car. It really doesn't matter if it's an SS396 or a Yenko car. There's still big motors in the front. They're not great handling cars. They're not that bad in the corners. This one has an original set of polyglass tires, so it does grab the ruts a little bit more. That could be fixed up with just a set of radial tires. But the real thing about these cars is straight line performance. All you have to do is stand on the pedal. Now stopping, all L72 cars came with mandatory power disc brakes on the cars, which was a good thing because these things got going so fast it was pretty nice to have good brakes. But what really made these things work is actually if you take off all the original exhaust manifolds and the smog, put on a good set of headers, put on a nice slick, take them to the track, all of a sudden you got an 11-second streamer. The bottom end of these cars were pretty tough too. They had 4-bolt mains, steel cranks, steel rods, a nice set of heads on this thing, and they were pretty tough. You could run these things, if you had a nice balanced piece, up to about 7,000 RPM, which is big RPM for a big block car. Transmissions in these, the only two that were available was a Muncie 4-speed or a Turbo 400. And the rear ends, probably 95% of these things came with 410 gears, some of them 456 gears. Now keep in mind they only built about 200, actually 201 Yenkos, of which the majority of those were 4-speeds, which this car is. This car has all the correct components, including the original Stewart Warner tack, the correct manifolds, the correct smog system. This car is restored probably a little better than new, and because of that, it has a value of at least $100,000 to $125,000 today, and I think in the very near future, you're going to see a $150,000 Yenko.